Crazy Kevin here, and I'm here with UFC fighter Abdul, Kareem Al-Selwady. How you doing?
I'm good. I'm good. Thank you.
Awesome.
Yeah.
A little bit since you've been in the cage for a couple weeks now. How you feeling mentally and physically after your last performance?
Oh no, I was good physically and mentally right after, it's just a process that you have to go through, to just get right back on it. I've lost a fight before and I've been on a 5 fight win streak after that. So it's just something that happened. Um, you know, I made it a point to where not to see it as the end of the world and just to right away start thinking about, okay, what's next? How do we move on? I'm not going to sit there and just dwell on what happened. I'm already just moving forward, thinking about, okay, what do I do to improve? And when am I going to fight next?
Absolutely. Now, after a fight, how long does it take you to get back in the gym? You like get into the fight away.
Well, I mean, I treated this fight like I treat any fight that I win. I don't get right back into it right away, anyways. I mean, when you're so dedicated and you just give everything your 100% after a training camp like that or a fight like that, you're already, there's so much you have to catch up to in life and in business and stuff that I just put on hold and I pushed till after the fight. So, and then it just so happened that after this fight, Ramadan started right away, which I take off every month. So for me, before this fight, I was like, it couldn't be a better time. It's like coming right before Ramadan. I know I'm not fighting after, so I'm just going to take that month to focus on religion and praying and just being better. And that's what I've been doing. So I've really been doing the same post fight protocol that I've been doing where I just kind of take it easy the first 2 3 weeks, and Ramadan ends next week, so I'm just getting ready to get back after it 100% right after, because during this month, the focus is on just being better and fasting and praying. So I've still been training, but about 2 hours a day to three, not 3 to 6.
Yeah, absolutely. With your last fight, do you have any sort of new training methods that you're trying, or any sort of new training partners you plan to bring in for your next fight coming up?
um I'm thinking of, I still have to go over with my coaches and everything. I believe the fight was going really good. There's nothing that I felt was really lacking in the fight. I would say maybe a little bit. I just something that I always wanted to improve and just work on, just to keep getting better, is like working on more reflexes, cognitive type training. Um, like things with balance and focus, like just different training methods to get sharper. But that's like with everything, like with the striking, with the grappling, just getting sharper, getting better everywhere always.
Absolutely. Now, when you're preparing for a fight, is there anything unique you do during your fight camps?
I mean, what do you mean exactly? You do everything. Like you leave no stone unturned.
Absolutely. Yeah, I didn't know if there was anything different that you do, compared to other fighters that you think is different.
Um, so I've been training for about 14 years right now, and in the first few camps of my career, like not even few, the first maybe 10 fights, every camp was a little different. Every camp you did something. Now it's reaching a point where, okay, I found a system that's been working, and it's really just, doing your rounds, your sparring, videotaping the sparring and then studying the videotapes. That has been helping a lot. So, funny thing is, I actually was doing videos this sparring camp, but I wasn't really studying them much. I was just doing the sparring. I don't know if that had anything to do with, the fight itself, this fight, but I always studied my tape and worked on improving. Cardio, always taken care of 100%. Never had an issue with cardio in a fight, thankfully. Grappling wise, also, never been out grappled. So, I feel everything is on point. Yeah, could just do some improvement. Like, because even winning this fight wasn't the only goal. Like, winning the belt is my goal. Getting into the top 15, top 10, top 5 belt. So all of that requires just continuously getting better in every aspect of the game.
Absolutely. You mentioned when you're sparring, you like to watch tape when you're filming your sparring matches. What exactly is the rules when it comes to like filming matches and sparring? Is there like any sort of like you shouldn't be recording it, you should be recording it this time?
So we train at like our gym. It's not one of those gyms where like everyone's posting like dumb videos of people in the gym. It's a more private gym. Like, like what happens inside stays inside. And, the coach, he's the one that films the sparring and basically airdrops it to the guys sparring in the video. And the videos never are anywhere because no one's ever posting them. Like the videos aren't used for posting, they're not used to get on the internet, they're just used to study it, and that's it. So there's no problem with anyone being filmed in the gym because the videos aren't being used for anything stupid.
Fair enough. No, that's definitely important, and
Yeah.
definitely a big thing when it comes to gyms. With that being said, with videos, you caught a guy like George Hardwick that was on TikTok a lot, posting about his game plans with you. Talk to us a little bit about seeing that situation.
Yeah, that was a really interesting fight. I love the hype for the fight. It was a lot of build up, a lot of pressure, and I love that pressure. Like I embrace that pressure. It makes me feel alive and really motivates me. Like it really does motivate me. And I know that's what I need. Like every time I've been in those situations, those really tough situations where it's like a high pressure fight, high caliber fight, everyone's like worried and nervous. Like those are the ones I do my best. Um, I know every fight is tough no matter what, and it just brings out the best in me. And George Hardwick is that, he has that combination of being an actual tough fighter, a skilled fighter, and also like popular on social media and posts a lot of videos. Like, sometimes you have people that are very popular, but they're not good. Or you have someone that's like really good, but like doesn't post anything, like he's a ghost. He had that combination of both. And yeah, but once that cage is locked, whatever whatever is written for you and whatever you are prepared to do is what's going to happen.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, when you were in the gym and you ended up seeing his social media, were you like ended up switching your game plan at all? Like, did you sit with your coaches and like watch the videos and be like, maybe we should work on this a little bit more, talking, crap about something, certain stuff?
Yeah. Like to some extent, like we wouldn't really change the game plan because the game plan was like pretty obvious from day one. But he did say something though once that did change things where he was just talking about how much of a wrestler I was and that like I'm absolutely not any kind of striker. Like, and that's what really motivated me to like want to bring out my striking. I was like, okay, if like that's absolutely what he's not expecting, then let me just do that and be really good at it and do it at such a high pace that he won't be able to adjust, you know? Because at this level of fighting, you can always adjust. You kind of need the space, the time, just the right mindset to think. So I was like, I'm not even gonna give him the space to adjust.
Yeah. Now, and famously mentioned that your style looked like Alexander Volkanovski. Out of all the fighters you could have watched on film for striking, why did you pick Alexander Volkanovski?
Yeah. I started off really being a fan of Jose Aldo, and I first started MMA a long time ago. And then it was like more the style of George St. Pierre, like his fight IQ. But like the last year, I've really been looking at Volkanovski, and I'm like, okay, we have similar body types and similar styles. Let me see like what works with him against taller fighters. I don't copy his style. It just so happens we kind of look alike, and I move a lot. So I did take a few things from the way he fights to beat the taller opponents.
Yeah, no, definitely. Now, another thing I'd like to talk to you about is, you said you're a big fan of like cooking and steaks. How do you like to make your steak?
Yeah, man. Of course, I'm a big fan of grilling and barbecue. I'll turn on the grill almost every day. Um, I do. I definitely make a lot of steaks. Like I prefer the medium. Medium is my favorite cut. Is my favorite. Sorry. Preference for temperature depending on the cut. Like for a nice ribeye, I'll get a medium. For like a leaner cut, I'll maybe go a medium rare, just depending on how lean the cut is. But yeah, this is my setup right here. Got like a pizza oven over here, and then the first thing over there is the smoker, and then over there's the flat top grill, and that's the cold plunge. But grilling wise, I'm always here. This is my if I'm not in the gym, I'm over here throwing something on the grill, or I'm doing both. I have a brisket on the grill to be ready for after training.
Awesome, man. Now, I heard another interview that you did some like, barbecue, like competitions. You actually might have won a little bit. Can you talk us
Yeah, yeah.
like any competition like that?
Yeah, I mean, I enjoy it. You know, I enjoy barbecue so much, so I want it to be the best. Um, I do like a big cookout every couple of weeks. Have friends over. We watch the fights. Like it's just something I love to do. And then everyone's always saying, you should open a restaurant. You should do competitions. You should do whatever. And I'm just, really focused on my fighting. But I did once in like a short break that I had. I entered a barbecue competition for a few categories, and I won them all. And I did give that also 100% focus for like a full month, just recipe tasting, checking, like everything, dialed it in. Spoke to some like barbecue gurus, got some tips from them as well, and then it was executed perfectly, just like a fight kind of. But that was my favorite training camp. No weight cut, just all eating steak.
Now, when you are getting ready to fight, you just got done your weight cut, and now you're like rehydrating and eating stuff. What is your like go-to meals? Like, how much weight do you put back on?
So you mean before the fight, but after the weigh-ins?
You just made weight, and you're getting ready to like eat.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I keep it very clean, because my first few fights, younger, I'd get like an upset stomach, heartburn, start throwing up. You start eating whatever. You just been starved for 2-3 months, and all of a sudden you can eat. So right now everything's like on a schedule. Really, the hydration drinks. My go-to right away is like mashed potatoes, baked potatoes, and rice. Um, and then I'll just have lots of carb-rich meals because body's been dehydrated. So yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah. Now, with that being said, too, you've been doing a lot of social media work. You've been on there. You've been pretty active. How important do you think that is for a fighter to be active on social media?
I mean, in this day and age, social media does play a part. Not because it plays a part in your popularity. You're like people knowing who you are and people wanting to be a fan, or people wanting to watch your fight. All of that leads to people wanting to watch your fight, and to organizations and sponsors and companies and everything. That views is money. So the more popular you are, the more money you can generate, I guess, to a company. um for me personally, like, popularity doesn't do anything. Like, I have some friends and some teammates that are some of the best people, and they're not popular, and some people I know are popular and they're just assholes. So that, for me, as a preference, it doesn't matter who I deal with, or who I would, if having a company in the future, who I would sponsor. If I'm trying to look for fighters, I will get it based on skill, and how good these guys are. I will never want a brand ambassador for me to be like someone that's an asshole, or like, because I don't ever try to be popular I don't like crave that kind of attention or try to do it, and especially not be something I'm not, or do something I don't do, or something against of who I believe I am just to get popular. Like, I mean, there's people that do it and they're generating millions of dollars, and I understand why they're doing it. You know, like, um, I could see a lot of things that they do, like they fake being the bad guy or they fake being an asshole just to kind of play that villain and get that kind of popularity, you know?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Now, we mentioned a little briefly when I was trying to set up the interview that I'm a Taekwondo instructor. I've been training for about 20 years now, and I've been teaching for about 6. I have about 150 students at my location. With that being said, my question to you is, what advice would you give to those students every day to keep training every day, getting better every single time they come in?
Well, the number one thing I could say is be consistent and do the sport for the love of the sport, not for any and not for anything else. Like winning competitions, making money, getting famous is all something extra that could come with how good and consistent you are. But when you go to the gym and when you train and when you think of why you're doing it because of your self improvement and because you love it. And if you're really true to that kind of motivation, then that's the kind of motivation that's going to keep you going for years and years. If your goal and motivation is money, you're going to quit and feel unmotivated very soon, or you're only going to train when there's money on the line. If your goal is or motivation is to win a fight, then you're only going to train until until you have a fight going or a tournament scheduled. So you should think of just your continuous improvement, and that's how you're going to keep getting better and better, whether you win or lose, have a fight, no fight, you get injured. If your motivation is just getting better, then you're going to keep going.
Yeah, I know some great advice there. Now, Abdul, last message to the fans that are going to come in and watching.
Hey guys, you know, if you've been watching me and supporting me for many years, then you already know what's about to happen. The comeback is going to be even greater. If you guys just heard of me or just started following me after a loss, then, you know, fasten your seatbelts because you're about to see a really great comeback. You know, I've dreamed of being in the UFC my whole life. I've beaten guys that were in the UFC. Like, you know, it's very known that I was supposed to be in the UFC like 5 years ago, and I just got in a month ago and I lost. And I'm carrying all of that still, like, to make the story so much greater.
Absolutely. Abdul, man, thank you so much for coming on. You know, you come back.
Of course.
Hopefully we can book you again in the future. And definitely.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you. Take care.
Later. Thank you so much for coming on.